Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the second video in our series of IELTS tips and tricks. I'm going to continue with the speaking module, and there are a couple of things that I want to mention or comment on my previous video. When you're speaking to someone, there's going to be these natural pauses, right? Also fillers. These are called fillers, like, well, let me see, okay. So these are natural pauses and fillers, which you are not penalized for. You may use them because in a natural conversation, we don't speak robotically. We have fillers, we have pauses, and this is acceptable. Treat your examiner as more like a friend than an examiner. Be comfortable with them. Talk to them in a manner that is not chatty but conversational, and of course you're going to have to be careful about your English, but don't feel stressed to the point where your language skills become it's difficult for you to form those answers. All right, so be comfortable, be natural, communicate in a manner as if that person is your friend, and you'll be good to go. So let's get started. Tell me about the most important festival in your country. Well, in my opinion, the most important festival in my country is Eid. In fact, Eid is not just celebrated in the country Pakistan, but it's celebrated by Muslims all over the world. And if it's a Muslim country, obviously the entire country is celebrating it. And for me, this is the most important festival. We have two Eids every year, and they're just wonderful events. They're just wonderful events. Okay, what special food and activities are connected with this festival? There's a lot of stuff that is connected with these festivals. There's biryani. Biryani is a combination of protein and rice, any choice of protein from chicken, mutton, or beef, or even fish and shrimps. And a lot of spices, a lot of herbs combined with rice, and this is obviously served as a mealtime dish. Then there's this sweet dish that is very popular for the festival of Eid, and it is vermicelli, cooked in milk and cream, and cooked. And there are these combination of nuts that are cooked within the milk. And the longer you cook them, the better the flavor, because the flavor, seeps into the milk, and it's just a delicious dish to have. It's served warm, and it could also be served cold, chilled. And these are the two main dishes for this festival. What do you most enjoy about it? Well, the food is amazing. The fact that we have our new clothes and new jewelry, and we dress up, we meet people, and the best part is that it's a national holiday. The stores are shut, work is closed, children are at home, schools and colleges are closed. So it's a great way to bond, and I honestly love it. I think it's a huge blessing. Both of the Eid festivals are huge blessings for us. Do you think festivals are important for a country? Yes, absolutely, they are. Festivals bring us together. Festivals engage us in a positive manner, in a healthy manner. We pass on the values and customs to our next generation through these festivals. There's a sense of ownership between families and between relatives, and it's a nice way to feel belonged, to feel that you are a part of a bigger whole. And yes, I think they're beautiful. They're just wonderful. All right, let's come to the cue card. All right, so part one, it will be, you will not see these questions. You'll be asked them verbally. But part two, you'll be given the cue card, right? And you can look at the cue card and make your notes and take that minute and then start talking, right? So I'm going to take my minute now to prepare for the cue card. All right, so it hasn't been a minute, but I'll start. You should take your entire minute on the day of the exam. Please be careful of that, because a lot of times students say, oh no, but I know this and I'm ready. But no, take your minute, okay? Okay, describe a film or a TV program which has made a strong impression on you, right? Okay, so okay, now another thing that I wanted to make a point to tell you is that maybe I'm also making English errors, right? I'm not giving myself a band score because I'm not an examiner. I'm a trainer. I can give myself a band score. I can assess this. Maybe I'll leave something in the comment section. But to be honest, I'm also making some minor mistakes of English. which I shouldn't be making, but because I'm also not a native speaker of the language, so I may be making them. I'm just pointing that out. Keep in mind that your mistakes have to be to the minimum, obviously, but we're all human, right? Sometimes we do slip. So it's just about practice, I guess, right? Okay, so let's get started. Describe a film or TV. Okay. So this TV program that I recently watched was on Netflix, and it is called Designated Survivor. There were 3 seasons, and I completed this. I completed the series last night. And why did it make a strong impression on me was for several reasons. First of all, I think that anybody who is interested in political science should watch this show, because even though I know that it's dramatized and there's a lot of melodrama and a lot of things happening within the show are probably exaggerated or maybe even toned down, but you do get an angle and a sort of an insight into politics, and specifically American politics, right? So basically, Designated Survivor is about a man who is, there's always in the American political system, the president appoints a person as his designated survivor. That person is obviously confidentially, that the name of that person is confidential and only the president knows, and of course his close confidants. And what happens is that if the president or any of the important influential people in the cabinet, in the capital, something happens to them, this designated survivor without any elections is taken into office, and he is appointed as the president of the United States of America. Now, this was a fact that I didn't know. I only found out through this show. So there's this actor who becomes the president, and he's obviously overwhelmed, and he has to go through a lot of challenges to sort of fit in. He is in the political arena, but he's not as political as other people are. So there's a lot of personal things, there's a lot of private things going on, but there's a lot of political things happening, and it's a really intense drama. It takes you from point to point in a very in an organized manner, and you get to see a lot of things happening in the political field, in the political arena, and it's a good show to watch. When you saw, I told you what the film, okay, I told you, okay, why did it make an impression? Well, of course, that insight, that political insight was something that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the way all of the characters are struggling with integrity and with honesty, and they want to do their job with honesty, but yet politics are dirty. So how are they combating all of these systems and values, and how are they dealing with their internal outlook and the external impression, or the external picture that they're trying to put. And everything is optics, right? It's about impressions, it's about the media. So I think it was a great show to watch. I enjoyed it thoroughly. All right, let's continue. People's cinema going habits nowadays. Okay, do you think the cinema, okay, now part 3 is also going to be verbal. Okay, now see, again, no the words, but for this video's sake, of obviously I'll let it slip, but not in your answers. So the part 3 is also verbal. So let's do this. Do you think the cinema has increased or decreased in popularity in recent years? Well, before COVID-19, I would say cinema had increased immensely in popularity, especially in Pakistan, because Pakistani cinema has suddenly gotten a boom. Amazing movies are coming out, movies that are just so nice to watch. So I think cinema goers have increased for sure. But after COVID, of course, the whole picture, the whole world picture has changed. In your opinion, will this trend continue into the future? I can't say about the future. I can't say what's going to happen with COVID-19 and how the future is going to evolve. I believe drive-ins have become popular again, which used to be popular when I was a child. So let's see how things go. Making a film or TV drama of real fictional events. What are the advantages and disadvantages of making films of real life events? There are many advantages and disadvantages. I think The advantage is that it's always nice to see a movie or a show that is based on a true story. Like only today at my medical college, I showed a movie to my students which is based on a true story. It is the Freedom Writers, and it is the story of Erin Gruwell, who was a teacher, an English teacher, and it's an amazing film. And the fact that it's based on a true story just makes it even more effective. You're more emotionally connected to the story of the kids and the teacher. I think the disadvantage would be the over dramatization, the over melodrama, because obviously a lot of facts are changed, a lot of facts are glossed over from the real life events. So that probably creates an artificial coloration, which we can do without. But I guess that's how movies have to be made, because they have to be viable. Right? How important do you think it is for a filmmaker to remain true to the original story? This is just what I was saying right now. I think that a filmmaker should be as true as possible to the original story. If not for the sake of, for viewership, I think they're making loopholes because of viewership, but it doesn't seem right. Changing the story too much makes it then what's the point of saying that it's a true story? It just makes it unbelievable sometimes. All right. Should films and television be censored, or should we be free to choose what we see? Well, there are certain values and certain, limits that have to be maintained. And these are cultural boundaries. They could also be social boundaries. I don't think that everything should be so raw and real. Sometimes when things are too raw and real, people just don't want to watch it. I mean, because people want to watch things for relaxation. For raw and real, we have the news, we have documentaries. So I think censorship is something that should be employed, but to a limit. It shouldn't take away from the movie so much that one really feels empty at the end of it, right? How do you think censorship laws will change in the next 20 years? Well, again, I don't know. I'm not really into the dynamics of the legislation that is attached with censorship. I don't know about it. I'm not very aware. Maybe it does change drastically, or maybe it doesn't. What can one say? All right. Now, for that last answer, I wasn't really happy with it. But anyway, as it is, like I said, I'm human. And I'm going with the flow. None of these answers have been written down beforehand. I'm going with the flow. All right. So class, thank you. Well, I'm so used to doing my online lessons that a class comes out without thinking. Anyway, so viewers, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this second video. And like I said, more are going to come as soon as possible, as soon as I can make them, but they're in the pipeline. So stay tuned. Do subscribe to the channel, like and share, leave your comments in the comment section below, and till I see you again, stay blessed. Thank you.